Welcome to another Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. I am Benjamin, and today I'm going to share with you some banknotes that all show maps on the banknote, making for a very mappy theme that I'm happy to share with you. As somebody who's traveled the world a lot, I enjoy maps. I've loved maps ever since I was a little boy, and I've done previous videos on compass roses, which figure in just about every map, except some of these maps that I'm going to show you don't seem to have compass roses on them. But as a school teacher, I've taught the kids with all various kinds of maps: political maps, landform maps, resource maps. And let's just get going on the few notes that I have to share with you that have maps on them today. By the way, I would like for you to share your mappy notes. And all I need you to do is you can share them, in comments, but you could also share them in comments after you like and subscribe to the channel. All of this will help the algorithm, and it will help me someday become monetized. If you could help me out and do that, I'd really appreciate it. Share with social studies teachers my videos because I think they do a good job. Let's take a look at banknotes with maps. The first note I'm going to share with you is a 5,000 pesos from Guinea-Bissau. And the map you see is here in the central portion of this banknote. And you see it's kind of a line map. It has Guinea-Bissau up here, and all the shaded region would be the islands and the territory that goes with Guinea-Bissau. Unfortunately, there's very little labeling on here. Like, there's no location of any major cities. The names of the rivers are not on this map, mountains or islands, but it is a nice map that shows the territorial delineation of the nation of Guinea-Bissau. Let's take a look at the back just briefly because I like to show both sides of a note. And we have a farming scene on this side. I've always liked farming scenes. In fact, whenever I go to a foreign country, I enjoy more time visiting the markets and the countryside. This is an Angolan, and it looks like it's a million something or other. A million Kwanzaa? Like a new Kwanzaa, maybe? Let's see what I can find for you. It looks like it's a Kwanzaa readjustment, so it is a readjusted Kwanzaa in the denomination of a million. And I see no map on this side of the note, but when you turn it over, we have a school child doing her schoolwork. And hanging on the wall is a map of Angola, which seems to be political. It shows cities, and it may even show products and where they're produced in the nation of Angola. Kind of a neat scene right there. I like that as a school teacher. We're going to travel to Turkmenistan next, and on this side of this 5 manat, you can see here that we have a political map of Turkmenistan. It shows the borders, it shows rivers, it has the names of cities and landmarks. So they're right there. A lovely note of Turkmenistan. And on this side, interesting buildings in their skyline. We're going to move over to Bermuda next. And on this side of this $2 bill, we have a lovely seahorse, which is going to figure prominently in another theme someday. And on this side of the note, we actually have a political map of Bermuda. It's not labeled as such, but it shows the boundaries and the little islets that make up Bermuda. And then it is divided into its departments or counties, or maybe even states, I guess you could say. I guess when you're the size of Bermuda, these could be more like a county. They're unnamed, but you can use the divisions on this map and compare it to a bigger map. There's your compass rose right there. It's a nice little note. We're going to move to Jamaica for another kind of map. This is a $500 bill of the Bank of Jamaica, and here's one of my favorite Jamaican characters. This is Nanny of the Maroons. She was a Ghana woman, and she ran her settlements in Jamaica like they were villages in Ghana, and she successfully repelled British attempts to gain control over the areas she had control over, and she successfully introduced the idea of guerrilla warfare to the Americas. And on the back of this note, we have a street scene of Port Royal right here. And then above it, we have a picture of Jamaica and another neighboring island. and the written in names of the settlements all the way around the island, and names for just about everything that there is to be named on this island. This map is so old that it's not even Jamaica, it's Iamaica, back in the days before J's were even used in our alphabet. But that's an interesting map on the back of this $500 bill of Jamaica. We're going to go to Guyana in South America for another map, and this is a $100 bill of Guyana. And over here to this side you have a map that delineates the dimensions of Guyana, and it shows landforms and rivers, but it also has little figures that show what is produced in different parts of Guyana. And this may indicate, while that so-and-so in Venezuela, the bus driver who lost his last election but still won't leave, this could very well be why he's threatening to march into Guyana and take him over, because there's a lot of gold here. There's a lot of silver, there's some oil, and there's little objects that show you just where the main goods are in Guyana. So it looks like there's money, there's timber, there's diamonds, bauxite, there's sugar, and there's gold, and then there are hills. So let's keep Guyana in our prayers, because boom, they're standing up against world crazy and nobody else is doing so. Let's take a look at this Jersey pound. This is a £1 note, and it has one of the most beautiful portraits of Queen Elizabeth ever used on a banknote. The Antigone portrait of her as an admiral. Love this note. And when you turn it over, you have a beautiful image of Mont Argyll Castle and a port. And then off here to the side, that's a pretty heavy-duty compass rose. You see that? And it's pointing straight down to a political map of Jersey. This map shows the outline of the islands, and it shows the departments on the island. This is a very beautiful green note. Sometimes green can be very satisfying on the banknote. But y'all, this is one of my smaller banknotes, and this is a banknote of Spain. It's a peseta, and it's from 1945. And I believe that it shows Isabella, Queen Isabella, maybe. Heck of a design note. And on the back of this banknote is one of the most fantastic maps I have ever seen on a banknote. Take a look at that. The entire back of the note is a map. There's a lovely compass rose. It shows Capesi La Florida. So this is a map of North America. There's Florida right there. There's the Gulf of Mexico. This is the Mexico Peninsula and the Yucatan. You have Cuba. You have all the islands of the Caribbean right in here. And you have lines of latitude, longitude. You have lines of, I don't know. But I could look at this map for hours and be impressed with what I see. And it looks like we have a Caribbean native individual right over here. But who knew that one of the smallest banknotes could have one of the most magnificent map designs? Did you like my map themes? If you did, please like and subscribe and show your love. Make some comments on it. Did you not like my maps? Go ahead and like and subscribe and tell me that you didn't like it. Tell me what I could have done better. What are some other notes you would include in a map theme? I am Benjamin. This is Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. Have a jewel of a day.